not seeing it. I'm on the subject though. Let me know, you plein air painters. For those of you who do little itty bitty paintings, this is not an issue. But for anybody that does big stuff like me, this is definitely an issue. And I want to show you this. This black bag right here has a speaker sitting on top of it at the moment. But the black bag is filled with iron weights. That bag weighs about 80 pounds. And I'm using it on purpose to hold down my easel. If that doesn't do it, I have a 70-pound car battery also in my car, in my van. So between the two of them, stuff gets held pretty well. Okay, I'm about to do white. I'm shooting down that street that way. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. And when you look at this scene with white paint in your hands, you tend to look at it very differently than you do when you've got dark paint. Hey Mark, good to see you. It's afternoon here. In cities, in downtown cities, I think this is pretty universal. The tall buildings are again pretty beautiful. When we leave the comfort of our, suburban homes or whatever, and come downtown. At home, there may be almost maybe 5-6 mile an hour. Weight and things like that. When it comes to plein air painting, if you're not an experienced plein air painter, you might not know this. Wind is the greatest hazard of painting outdoors. Rain, not a lot of people think it's rain. Rain is hard. Even when it's not raining, it's wind. Significance. It includes things like animals, wildlife, policemen, all the hazards of plein air painting. But the number one is, in my opinion, number one is wind. Number two, at least in our part of the country, is sun. So that's why, in my opinion, you either have to be very careful to set up under shade, or you have to have some real significant umbrellas. And then if you have umbrellas, you have to go back to wind problem. I'm not using an umbrella tonight, but if I were, I would have 150 pounds of weight holding my easel down. Just to give you an idea. So for me, plein air painting like this. Now I do have a Soltech easel, it's lightweight, kind of stuff. I do have things like that, and I can compare that to like backpack camping. What I'm doing here today is more like car camping. You know, the all-American drive to Yellowstone or Yosemite, or we'll drive to the beach with the family and the kids, and all the camping gear's in the car. That's comparable to what I'm doing here. I'm definitely doing not backpacking painting, as you can tell by my 150 pounds of counterweight. Okay, I can turn my music back up. By the way, I'm using music here that I have permission to use, so that I won't get socked by YouTube copyright infringement. When you're doing underpainting, it is not only okay if the underpainting is not exactly accurate. I've discovered that it's actually advantageous if the underpainting is wrong. For instance, like these lines here, the scribbly stuff that I do, it actually works better if some of the underpainting is, if you will, mildly erroneous. The reason being, if your underpainting is too accurate, and then you come back and do the overpainting on top of the underpainting, and if they line up, if they match up too perfectly, then your painting will appear stultified, stiff, artificial, tight, that dreaded tightness that most of you are trying to get rid of. So, when I'm doing lines like this, they're more or less roughly in the right place, but I'm not trying to make sure that they're exactly right. In fact, I'm being pretty careful to make sure that they're not exactly right. But they do indicate some of what's really there. They're not meaningless, right? Okay, hey man.
Doing your thing.
I am indeed.
Right.
This is traffic, cars in the street, and then pedestrians in the street. Again, let me show you the scene that I'm painting, more or less. There we go. I'll zoom in a little bit. Whoa, I zoomed in a lot. There we go. Okay, that kind of feel. Hello, John D in the UK. Good to see ya. Thanks for saying hi. point it at you again. Point you at it. So it's all trees on the left and all buildings on the right. I hope it's going to look good. Every painting I do, believe it or not, I hope it's going to look good. The other day, I did a painting that turned out quite nicely. 3 days, same location, painting right about there. I actually prefer painting in the winter when the trees are bare. Isn't that weird? It makes me quite the Scrooge. Everybody else is happy when the spring comes and the things come out. I'm really sad. Like, oh no! Not really, I'm not really sad. But I do enjoy, I definitely do enjoy painting. Because I do so much, as you know, I do so much architecture and so much, so many cityscapes. Obstructed by trees. So yeah, I really do. In the winter, late fall, early spring, and winter, when the trees are bare. The rest of me enjoys, you know, green summer, spring, and so on. The painter artist side of me really does like bare trees better. Really limited colors you end up with. So that's why I'm crazy about transparent colors. So how twilight do I want it? That's the question. How twilight do I want it? I don't know. Drying so quickly, I don't even have to wait for that. It's too white. Let me close all these. It's nice and breezy out here, and the breeze is making dry really quickly, including the paint in my little pots here, so I don't want them to dry. So I'm doing so bad, I think I'm done with all of them. One more touch of paint, and then I'm done. So second. Now, all of those layers, you don't really need much if you're painting opaque. Of course, that's, you know, if there's any one word that describes my Dan Nelson style painting, transparent, that is what sets me apart. I'm not trying to be set apart, but that is in fact what sets me apart from my contemporaries. I paint like the old masters with layers of transparent colors. Just the old masters had to do it in oil, and we can do it in acrylic. So layers and layers and layers of acrylic, if they're transparent or translucent, which is what I'm doing right now, then those layers build up very quickly, and you can create a beautiful patina. Like that's what that's a good word for what I've got going right here. It's a patina. Patina is a word used to describe, often used in sculpture. Patina means a surface texture achieved through time and process, weathering process, or use, like an old copper pot. The bottom of a copper pot achieves a beautiful patina because of the years and years and years of handling by the cooks and chefs, maybe housewives of the family. So it's not to limit. Not to limit cooking, to limit. That's what patina is. And of course it's used in painting as well. So this is a patina, and it looks like, when you look at it, it looks like it should have taken hours and hours and hours to achieve, because it's layers and layers and layers. And that's one of the things I like the best about this approach to painting, is it looks like it took a long time, but I've actually achieved it very, very quickly. And of course, there's many, many layers to go yet. Flags. Sure, I don't know if I'll remember later that these are flags, but the painting I did on Tuesday was particularly nice. Thanks so much for watching.